When we look at key macroeconomic goals, full employment comes as one of the major macroeconomic policy objectives. The existence of high unemployment suggests that the economy is not operating at full capacity. But some kinds of unemployment will always be present in a dynamic economy. So, when we look at full employment is defined as a situation where people who are economically active in the workforce and are willing and able to work at the going wage rate are able to find employment. To be at full employment means that the economy is at its PPC, or in terms of long run aggregate supply curve, it is producing at its potential output, which means all resources are fully and efficiently employed. Now, setting aside those who are economically inactive, there will always be some unemployment in a society, if only because there will be some people who are either in between jobs or engaging in a job search. So, we can say at full employment, there will always be some kind of unemployment that will exist. This means that at full employment, there will be no zero unemployment, but there will be a particular percentage of people that will be still in between jobs and looking for jobs. And we say that this percentage may vary from period to period and from country to country, and may be dependent upon the flexibility in labor market. How easy is it for people to move from one occupation to another, or how easy it is for people to find job sort of information. For example, if I'm unemployed, I'm in between job, I may find it really easy to find job if the information in the market is readily available. So, in this discussion of unemployment and employment, we will look at what are the sources of unemployment. What we will realize is that when we look at unemployment, there are two sources of unemployment: the equilibrium unemployment and the disequilibrium unemployment. And both type of unemployment may have different policy structure. Before we discuss these, I would like to spend some time and talk about the aggregate demand and supply of labor. When we look at a macroeconomic equilibrium, we would like to see how aggregate demand and aggregate supply of labor meet in a macroeconomic sense to discover the equilibrium wage rate and quantity of labor employed. So, if we plot on my y-axis the average real wage rate of an economy and the quantity of labor, where demand and supply meet, we will find equilibrium level of employment and the equilibrium wage rate. So if we draw our aggregate demand for labor, because it's the whole economy, it may look like this, a downward sloping demand curve, while aggregate supply of labor will be upward sloping. And I'm going to make it a little inelastic because of a reason that we'll talk about in a little while. So aggregate supply curve is kind of upward sloping, where demand meets supply. We will look at the equilibrium wage rate of WE and the quantity to be, let's say, QE. Now we can see that the aggregate demand and supply of labor is the total demand and supply of labor in an economy, and it shows the number of workers willing to accept jobs at each wage rate. This supply curve is inelastic, and the reason is that the size of the labor force at any point cannot be changed very largely or significantly. Despite a higher wage rate, we may not see the number to change. Though we can say that the wage rate goes up, two things will happen. Number one, higher wage rate will encourage some people to enter the labor market. So this could be, encouraging for people who are deciding not to work may decide to work. And also even those who are unemployed, because they're looking for better jobs, they may start to accept job offers rather than, continue with their job search, because the opportunity cost of being unemployed will go up. So higher wage rate will encourage more people to join the labor market, leading to what we call an upward sloping supply curve. But that supply curve is very inelastic, because at any point in time, you can't really change the supply that much. On the other hand, if you look at aggregate demand of labor, the aggregate demand of labor seems to be downward sloping, which means the higher the wage rate, the more the firm will attempt to economize the labor, switch labor with other factors of production. And therefore, there will be what we call a downward sloping demand for labor. The labor market will be at equilibrium, therefore, where demand is meeting supply, and this is our equilibrium wage rate and quantity of labor employed.